comic book hunting on the weekend? Go to a show, go a couple places, the flea market, pick up some books. Let's take a look at what I got, including a key comic of a character I think is really good spec on coming to the MCU, but it's not a Marvel book. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Community, this is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And before we get started, I'd like to thank everyone for their support of the channel. We've reached 3,000 subscribers. We're going to do our 3,000 subscriber giveaway at the beginning of December. On our 2,500 subscriber giveaway, we still have two people. I have not yet heard from Scott Hibbert or All DA. They did win prizes, so if you could hit me up, my email is in the description for this video. And also my eBay store information is there. My Whatnot information, Bronzeville_comics. We do sales every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you haven't yet gone on Whatnot and you use the link in the description, you get $10 off your first purchase. And that's also my Instagram handle, and you can check out some stuff I have there. And I usually try to do some previews of my Whatnot shows on Instagram. Now, before we get started with the books I picked up this weekend, I did get a box from Whatnot. I don't remember exactly what it was. I was in a sale, and this is a nice box. It's a single. I'm pretty sure maybe it's two, but I think it's a single issue. Very well packaged. An oversized box. I can use this for like real books. I do sell on my eBay store. Has some of the books my kids have outgrown. Yeah, look at that nice bubble wrap there. Very nicely packaged. It was one of these things where I was in the show, and I'm like, oh, that's some pretty cool stuff. I'm like, yeah, that book looks good. I think that's a good price for it. The only thing I would say about this packaging job is it's bubble wrap with packing tape around. And I can't exactly tell where the packing tape is, and I'm a little leery of opening it up. But sometimes in Whatnot, I'm like, oh, I'll pick up that book. Maybe they'll have more, because you get, you pay more for the first item shipping. And I always make sure it's usually about $5 to ship the first item for a raw book, and then about $1.50 for every item thereafter. So you have to factor that into your price. So it's like, I think if this book, I'm willing to pay $15 for it, well, I'm only going to bid up to $10. And one of the things that's really important on Whatnot is to control yourself. Unless you're in my show, then you can go crazy. Have a plan. It's very easy to get Whatnot FOMO and say, I need that book, and then, I'm only going to go up to $10, and then they go to, I can go to 12, I can go to 15, I can go to 20, and then all of a sudden you've paid above fair market value for the book. So I'm going to try to extricate this from this bubble wrap, and figure out what the book is. I'm not even looking at the packing slip, because I kind of want to surprise myself with what I bought. My memory isn't usually this bad, but it's probably even the packing slip just says like raw book 63 or something like that. But what happened was, if I remember correctly, this sale, I was like, oh, maybe there's some cool stuff in here. Maybe there's some other stuff around this that I would be interested in. And then they're like, oh, we're done for the night. Like, oh. Okay, this is lower grade. This is lower grade. And I don't know, what did I pay for this? I'm gonna look it up. It's Fantastic Four 39 with Daredevil and Doctor Doom. So it is low grade. You can see, this is, creased everywhere. That is probably on a good day at 2. And I'm a little bit concerned because it feels a little light. I'm going to do a page count just because why not just get disappointed right here on camera. It's all there. It's complete. It is attached at the staples. So, but it is a low grade copy. For certain. And he did some other stuff, but they were done with the show, and that's fine. So I paid, I guess, about $32 for this all in. Did I pay too much? Let's see. Goods go, fair to poors are like that range. Goods in about the $50 range. You're not going to get it slabbed unless it's probably about a 5. So this is not something that's going to be slabbed. But you know what? It's an early Fantastic Four. I'm going to hold on to this for now. Perhaps I'll put it in a new bag and board. Perhaps we'll, see what happens when Doctor Doom comes along. I have a lot of Doctor Doom covers from the FF run that I'm holding on to, and we'll see what happens when he comes into the MCU. Let's take a look at the rest of the books that I picked up this weekend. I did a little bit of comic hunting, kind of low-key on the weekend. On Saturday, I got up a little bit later, and I had some stuff to do, family stuff to do in the morning, and then my wife said, I'm going to take the kids shopping in the afternoon. I said, oh, weather turned out nice. It was like rainy in the morning. I said, well, let me head down to Streetside Anthony's. He's doing a sale, and he's only about 15, 20 minutes away from my house, so it's really convenient. And I went there, and I picked up just 4 books, but some really good books. He had just got a new collection. I picked up New X-Men 128. This is a really sharp copy, the first appearance of Phantom X. Again, I'll have to take a close look to that to see if it is a potential in a 9.8. I also I have gotten a couple copies of his first kind of cameo appearance. This is a first full appearance of Larfleeze in Green Lantern number 39. I'm not sure how the Green Lantern Corps show is going to play out. It is going to be centered around John Stewart. So a couple modern books, and then I went down to the Silver Age and picked up. This is a really cool book. This is definitely a personal collection book. Brave and the Bold, number 65. Flash and Doom Patrol team up. In the early issues of Brave and the Bold were, I guess, the end of the Golden Age, beginning of the Silver Age, right around there. Viking Prince, Silent Knight, I think Robin Hood as well. And then they kind of morphed into a tryout book with the first 3 Justice League stories were in there, Hawkman, Brave and the Bold, etc. And then they had Strange Sports. And then they went to these team-ups. And it was this number of issues until the team-ups were completely Batman, until the end of the run, issue 200. And then the last book I picked up, I was really happy to find this because I need it for my DC 1972 collection. It's a really sharp copy of Secrets of Sinister House number 6. Now, the cover artist on this is Michael J. Kaluta, who did some fantastic fantasy work in the 70s. He did some work on... Kaluta did some work on the first 6 issues of the Shadow series for DC, and his work is really outstanding. He did a lot of horror genre stuff. But he also did some of the Korak son of and the Tarzan family related titles. Did some of the Madame Xanadu, the series from the around 2010. So high grade copy. Really happy to put that into my 1972 collection. And then on Sunday morning, I was all set to go to the Clifton show. And I got a text from the guy that sells at the local flea market. And it was rainy, but he had some new stuff in. Didn't have any really great stuff. I just kind of picked up some books from him just to, kind of keep the relationship going. And, he gives me first dibs because, it could be the best book. X-Force 11. That was it. That was the best book in the lot. Then I headed over to Clifton. I got there about 20 minutes late, and there's a guy that's been there recently that has $3 books, a lot of bronze, a lot of silver, and he's just moving stuff. So I picked up some Hulk books. Some of these do have key significance, but they're very minor key. Daredevil, I'm not sure if that has key significance, but the condition varies. Some of them are nice. This is rougher, but it is the first appearance of Terrax in lower grade. But I figure, for $3, grab that. This Captain America with Daredevil. That was a cool book. And then I got a detached top staple and all, but still not a bad copy. A 15-cent cap. And then this issue is in a little bit higher grade with Nomad. Some DC Comics Presents. The best stuff wasn't there, but this Shazam family. Not Black Adam in that one. I think this is the second appearance of Mongol. It's just Jim Starlin storyline. This Galactus High Evolutionary cover in Fantastic Four. Another Galactus cover. You can see that I'm kind of got a lot of Herald related stuff. There we go. That focused it. This Fire Lord appearance in Thor. I didn't even realize I picked this one up. A Mr. Miracle. This one is a minor key. I had actually gotten this. It seems a little thin though. It's like one of those things when you pick up a book and you're like, yeah, I got to check the page count. I did have this I sold in a 9.2. That's all there. And it's Hulk 282, the first team up of Hulk and She-Hulk. He's Bruce Banner in Savage She-Hulk #1. 175 with this Black Bolt and the Inhumans appearance. 254, the first appearance of the UFOs. This was probably the best of the batch in terms of the Hulk stuff. I'm pretty sure this is the right one, yeah. He's not on the cover, but 213 is the first appearance of Jack of Hearts in comic books. He did appear in a magazine. Jack of Hearts had previously appeared in Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. There were people that thought that he might be in She-Hulk because one of the characters is probably El Aguila, who we saw like the corner of him in a trailer. Looked like it might have been Jack of Hearts. It was not. Then, what other books did I pick up? Avengers 158. It has this Wonder Man versus Vision cover. I think it's also the first appearance of Graviton, but I'm not sure that really pops it as much as this battle on the cover. This was actually the first Avengers book that I picked up when I started collecting the run as a kid. Just a Spectacular Spider-Man with this angel appearance. I thought was pretty cool. Doctor Doom cover. This has a little bit of key significance. It might be the death of Baron Blood. Newsstand. This I picked up. This is always a fun pickup. Fantastic Four 209, the first appearance of Herbie the Robot. I've talked about that on the channel before, how he was a replacement for Human Torch in the TV series. This is lower grade. I'm not even sure. I gotta double check. Yeah, the cover is detached to the top staple, but it is a DC Bronze Age Batman, even in lower grade, and I'm pretty sure that's a Neil Adams cover. I'm not 100% positive, but I think it might be. That's a pretty cool book. Picked up Thor 190, just 15-cent Thor for $3. Another Daredevil. Now, I was probably one of the last people over there. This is in a little bit more beat-up shape. So, this particular guy was $3 a book, 7 books for $20. I figure at this point I might as well get a multiple of 7. So I picked up a total of 28 books. I picked up this Flash 286. It's the first appearance of the Rainbow Raider. 289. This is the first artwork that George Perez did for DC. And I also like it because it does have, when Firestorm was canceled in the DC implosion, he got a backup here in Flash. I'm kind of low-key working on my Flash run. And this is another Firestorm story. It's the first appearance of Typhoon, who's not a character of really any importance. So then, I was just looking at other Avengers. I spent most of the time just talking to people. Streetside Anthony was there. Erod was there. I saw a couple of other people that, watched the channel. And I, just talking comics. And, that's kind of half the reason, I go. I didn't want to spend a lot of money because I am saving up potentially for a collection coming up that I'm working on. I'll let you know. I don't know for sure if I have this, but I thought it was a pretty sharp copy. It kind of combines two collections of mine. I picked up this Shazam 17. It's a 100-pager. It's Shazam, and I'm trying to complete the Shazam run. And then another guy that I've dealt with before, he had a new collection in, a lot of Silver DC. So I did pick these up. They don't really have significance, but they do fill a hole in my Adventure Comics run. A little bit lower grade, 311. I just really like this cover. It's so emblematic of the story. We also have a Super Baby story in here, which are really, really hard to get through, to be honest. But these Legion stories I really like. You got the substitute heroes on the cover here, looking at the monitor board of the Legion, and then this, the Bizarro Legion first appearance. Not really that big a key, but it does help me kind of flesh out my Adventure Comics run. So then there was the same dealer I got the Adventure Comics from. I bundled it, and I picked up a book that I have been picking up. And this is like, it's an interesting book because, like every other book in the last year and a half, let's say, it's gone up and it's come down. And I'm not sure that there's any reason for its incline other than the fact that it's a great story. But it's an interesting character, and the history of the character is very, very interesting. But I'm looking forward. I finished the run of this book, and I am of the opinion that we're going to see this character in the MCU. I don't know where or when, and it's a character whose first appearance, this isn't even really his first true appearance, is not in Marvel Comics. But we just started a series with this character, and I think it would be an awesome fit for the MCU. Now, and the book is Miracle Man #1. Eclipse Comics was this 1985, written by Alan Moore, art by Gary Leach. And this, I thought, I have to take a closer look at it. It's a really sharp copy. And I got it for a really nice deal. We do have a new Miracle Man series, and Miracle Man has been part of the Timeless storyline on Marvel. And history does show us that Marvel tends to promote characters that they're going to potentially use in the MCU by making us aware of them, by reintroducing them in the current comic books. And we've seen some examples of that lately. And I'm not exactly sure. I do think we're going to see him. I really do. If you haven't read the story, the original story, Alan Moore wrote it, and then Neil Gaiman took it over. And it took a long time for the books to come out. The first issue came out in 1985, and it was on a pretty consistent schedule up until, like, the first 9 issues came out monthly, and then it started to be several months, like about 6 months between issues. We had, 3 issues come out in 1987, and then 2 in 88. There was a big gap from number 15 to 16. 16 came out in 89, 17 through 19 and 90, and 20 through 22 in 91, and finally 24 in 1993, all by Eclipse Comics. Marvel since reprinted those. Get a hand on it. Read the original stories. Now, interestingly, Miracle Man was a British publication that resulted when Fawcett no longer stopped printing Captain Marvel books, and they created their own character and Marvel Man. Obviously, they couldn't use that name. That was in the 1950s. They couldn't use that name in the 1980s because of the Marvel trademarks. But he was essentially a British version of Captain Marvel, and instead of Mary and Junior, he had Junior and Kid Marvel Man, who became Miracle Man Junior and Kid Miracle Man in these stories. Anyway, there's a lot of similarities with Shazam, but it's an incredibly different tone that Moore put on it. And this was right in the midst of him deconstructing the superhero genre, and it's one of his best works. I might put it right after Watchmen in terms of his catalog, and all those Swamp Thing stuff was really good. V from Dead was really good too. Anyway, enough of that. So this is the book I think is a key. Now, interestingly, 9/8 still sell pretty consistently for over $200, but 9/6s, they've been going down a little bit. They're hovering right around the high 90s, low 200s. There was a high sale recently. Back in September, the book was sold for $130. 9/8s have been kind of all over the board in the last month. From $270 to $180 to $225. So, but, I mean, as recently as April of this year, you had sales of right around $400 for a 9/8 for Miracle Man. Obviously, we're seeing correction all over the place, and this is a book that's kind of soft right now because there's no MCU spec behind it. I've been picking this book up whenever I can in sharp condition, and it's one of those books that I really believe in, that I think is an undervalued key right now. So let me know what you think of the haul. Let me know what you think about Miracle Man. Let me know if you read it or not. If you haven't read it, do yourself a favor and find the trades, find it online, find the reprints, find the original copy. They're probably about, in the $30 to $40 range for a sharp copy, raw, and enjoy the story. It is tremendous. It's a story that I really enjoy. So put that in the comments below. In the meantime, you can check a couple of my other videos out here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.